Wow, friends, this is shocking news. President Biden has just unveiled a major plan that would benefit Americans who are facing hardships. However, many are worried whether this plan will stand a chance in the divided Congress. Officials say this plan may benefit hundreds of thousands of Americans. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Also note that every Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, please click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Pasquarelli made a really important point, and that is that this problem arose and it impacted middle-class Americans. But that happened because Republicans and the Trump tax cuts didn't really much care about middle-class Americans. They didn't much care about working-class Americans. And in fact, as we know, the Trump tax cuts mostly benefited the wealthy. The Trump tax cuts highlight the priorities that we see on this chamber between Republicans and Democrats. Because they imposed the SALT deduction cap for a reason. They wanted to make sure that they could pass these tax cuts that, as you can see, benefited the richest Americans, so much more than they did middle-class Americans. It is just a magnitude that is astounding. So their goal of what they tried to do and what they did do back then worked. The top 0.1% had an average tax cut of $193,000. And what kind of cut did middle-income Americans receive? A paltry $930. If you earned $3 million or more a year, you got to keep an extra $193,000. People who earned $1 billion got to keep even more. Do those millionaires and billionaires really need that help? You know who really needed that help? The middle class, who got $930. That's barely $77 a month. These were their priorities. These remain their priorities, except for the fact that there are some election problems happening over there in New York, and they acknowledged it. New York, a few of the New York Republicans helped them get their majority, and so this is what they're getting back for 1 year. 1 year only, because they didn't want to vote for a 2-year fix. So, imagine what a middle-class family would have been able to do if they could have gotten thousands of dollars of tax cut. They would have been able to do some of the things we're talking about: buy a house, send their kids to college, go on a vacation, make sure that they didn't have to worry about the bills. 20 years of groceries they could have bought if we just allowed them to get what the rich got. But that didn't happen, because Democrat priorities, we're always standing with the working class and not the wealthiest corporations and CEOs. We want to lower costs and grow the middle class. So HR 7160, it's not solving the problem. It's not a permanent fix. It's not even a 2-year fix. So when you guys get up and complain about that this should not be a problem for us, we wanted to fix it for 2 years. You said no. They just don't want to let us vote on things that are important. They don't want to let us vote on a 2-year fix. They don't want to let us vote on Ukraine funding, on emergency security issues that are about protecting our troops. Let us vote on these issues. Let the House members have a say. With that, Mr. Speaker, I yield. I reserve.
According to Yahoo News, President Biden continues his push to alleviate the burden of student debt for Americans, following the recent cancellation of nearly $5 billion in student loan debt for public servants and low-income borrowers. the Biden administration has proposed expanding forgiveness to those facing financial hardships. James Cavall, the Department of Education Undersecretary, has told reporters that his move, which has been described as potentially one of Biden's most significant student debt relief efforts yet, aims to provide relief to as many borrowers as possible. After the Supreme Court rejected Biden's original student debt relief plan last summer, he has introduced targeted debt cancellation programs for specific groups of individuals. This new proposal, which defines financial hardship through various factors, such as loan balance relative to income, high essential expense burdens, and likelihood of default, may have a substantial impact. The proposed regulation, set for a debate in a rulemaking session on February 2nd and February 23rd, outlines these factors, but also allows the United States Secretary of Education to consider additional criteria which are not specified in the text. As a result, the number of eligible Americans for relief remains uncertain. This initiative for additional student debt relief comes shortly after Washington, D.C. canceled another $4.9 billion in student loan debt for about 73,000 borrowers. This relief was facilitated through improvements through income-driven repayment and public service loan forgiveness programs, which Biden criticized as flawed. The $4.9 billion relief included erasing $3.2 billion in debt for public servants and $1.7 billion for borrowers in repayment for at least 20 years under income-driven repayment plans. And since taking office, the Biden-Harris administration has forgiven $136.6 billion in student loans for over 3.7 million Americans. The potential for further relief through the proposed hardship criteria remains subject to the rulemaking process and potential legal challenges. So, dear friends, what are your thoughts on forgiving student loan debt? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. This week, mortgage rates shot up, causing potential home buyers to step back from the housing market and dampening hopes for rate cuts by the Federal Reserve before the spring buying season. Despite a robust economy, inflation remains higher than anticipated. The average rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage jumped past 7%, rising from 6.97% to a peak of 7.13% on February 13. These climbing rates are stubbornly high, even as inflation surpassed economists' predictions in January. The U.S. Consumer Price Index rose by 0.3% month over month and 3.1% annually, exceeding forecasts of 0.2% monthly growth and a 2.9% yearly increase. This suggests that the Federal Reserve's efforts to combat inflation might last longer than initially anticipated, which is not good news for home buyers' affordability. The uncertainty surrounding potential rate cuts has led home buyers to hold off, resulting in a more than 2% drop in mortgage applications compared to the previous week. Moreover, more potential buyers are opting to rent instead of buying, as it's often more affordable. A study by LendingTree found that in 2022, renting was cheaper than owning with a mortgage in all 50 of the largest metro cities, with the median U.S. asking rent increasing by 1.1% year over year to $1,964 in January. While rental growth has slowed over the past year, prices have surged by almost 20% since January 2022 due to the crisis. Cities like San Francisco, New York, and San Jose have the largest gap between owning and renting, with a difference of nearly $1,350 per month. But on the other hand, cities like Phoenix, Orlando, Jacksonville, and Atlanta have similar costs for owning and renting, with a spread ranging from $87 to $216. Well, my amazing and my most awesome friends, That is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. My dear friends, thank you so much for being part of this community. I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter the weekly giveaway, friends, please click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. Thank you, friends, and have a wonderful and very blessed week.